Hey everybody, what's happening? Johnny from Caledonia Drum Studio here. So I thought maybe you might want to have a look at the gear that I'm playing. So I'm going to walk you through what I'm currently playing and recording with, and yeah, let's check it out. Okay, so we just did a little flip around of the camera, and I'll just show you the drums and the cymbals and whatnot really quick. So this is kind of a look at the setup that I'm playing right now. A little bigger than I normally play for, gigging and whatnot, but that's cool. It gives me more voices and whatnot to record with. So let's start with the cymbals. So I've got right now playing all Sabian, of course, playing the AAX Accelerator Hi-Hats. I really like these. I've wanted to get a set for a long time, and finally got them. So they're kind of my main hats right now. 14-inch. Up here we've got a 17-inch prototype. So I guess technically that's like the only one of those around. Really wicked. All of these like really sound good together. An 18-inch HHX Studio Crash. 21-inch Groove Ride HHX is my main ride right now. I've got a bunch of other rides, but really like this one. It's kind of good all around. We've got 20-inch Prototype Crash Ride up there, 18-inch AA China, and an HHX Complex Thin Crash 18-inch. And oh yeah, I forgot back over here, this little guy here, this 10-inch AA Splash, which I really like. Again, this is kind of my main thing. I've got a bunch of other cymbals that I kind of sub in every now and then, but this seems to be working for me. Okay, the drums, all Tama. I'm a big Tama guy, and these are my vintage 83, 84 Artstar 1, which are birch with Cordia, inner and outer veneer. Beautiful, beautiful drums. 16. I have an 18, but 16 works better for me for recording. It's just a little bit easier to dial in. 16, 14 floor toms, 16-inch, 14-inch, 12-inch rack up here, and I started, I started adding a 10-inch tom into the mix. Don't normally play a 10-inch tom. Usually, I usually play more of just a straight 4-piece setup, like one up, one down, usually 12 and 16 for gigs. But this drum sounds awesome, and even though I don't normally play a 10-inch drum in my setup, man, that thing sounds friggin' wicked. So I just kind of started working it in, and it's a really nice little voice to have if you need it. Snare drums. Again, I have a bunch of snare drums, but this guy is my bread and butter, and this is my 6.5 by 14 pearl free-floating brass shell snare drum, and it's wicked. Man, this thing has been on so many records, and it's just like my main go-to drum. Wicked, wicked crack off of it, and also if you want to tune it low and fat, it's got that nice bottom as well. So it's kind of good all-around drum. You got the crack of metal, but the warmth of like a wood drum. And man, it sounds great. Cranked high, and it sounds awesome. Fat and low as well. I recently started using. I'm a big fan of, especially like when I'm recording, using EQ rings on the drums just to kind of help keep the tops a little more under control. And that's a big thing that my buddy Lawrence kind of got me into doing. Not so much live, but studio, yeah. I have them on all the drums now, and I actually really kind of like how the drums sound. Just easier to get rid of those overtones. And speaking of which, I started using recently this big fat snare drum EQ ring. They have a bunch of different models, but this one, I think it's kind of like their main model, and that thing's really awesome. Again, sounds great on the drum, pitched really high and cracking, or low and fat. So there you go. Vic Firth are my drumsticks of choice that I break the shit out of these days. You should see the pile of broken wood that I have. Right now I'm playing the, what is it, the Extreme 5A model. And I also play the Extreme 5B. Standard 5A and 5B, just with a little bit extra length, which I like. I think I'm going to start switching primarily just to the 5B Extreme, because I am busting the shit out of these. I broke like 5 of them in the last, like 5 or 6 of them in the last like 2 days, just practicing at home. So that's kind of bullshit. But anyway, DW pedals. Right now I'm playing the 3000s, which I kind of like. But I've got 2 sets of 5000s as well. And really, when it comes down to pedals and stuff, guys, like the different levels. Some people are like, oh, I don't like the 3000s because, you know what? They're the exact same pedal as the 5000s and all that stuff. The only difference is like the cam. So, like the 5000s have, it's like the Accelerator versus the turbo cam and all that stuff. But basically, it's like I'm not really super picky. They're wicked pedals. I like them all. I like the 3000s, which I'm playing right now, and I like the 5000s as well. I'm not going to bother shelving out money for the 9000s because they're like crazy expensive. Still learning Pro Tools, so I'm getting all the recording figured out, but hopefully soon we'll be rocking. So I'm kind of still in the experimenting phase right now. The microphones that I'm using are mostly Shure microphones, close mic'd on the drums. My main room mic that I like using is the Audio-Technica. It's not super expensive, but sounds really good actually. So whatever. But everything else so far is Shure, which I'm kind of, again, digging the sounds that I'm getting. So whatever, you stick with what works. But I'll probably experiment more with mics as I kind of get more into this home recording thing. I'd like to, build up more of an array of mics so I can use the old SM57 you can see on the snare drum there, and that's like the bread and butter. You'll find that in pretty much every recording studio. So I don't know, I'm probably going to pick up some more of those, maybe a couple of different mics that I can try out on the toms and the kick drum especially. But so far so good, and I'm really digging it. Anyway, there it is. That's the kind of the setup. When I'm just rehearsing on my own, I usually just blast tunes through the monitor so I can kind of feel it a little bit, but also I've got my headphone mix going through. Just move the Raiders cap out of the way here. The headphone mix just kind of going through my mixer there into my headphones so I can really feel it. And anyway, that's the setup. A bunch of extra drums over there. This is my wee little room. It's not really super dialed in terms of proper construction yet, which we're going to get to soon, hopefully. But it's an expense, and you have to budget for it. We got a lot of home renovations done when we moved in last year, so I'm just lucky to have, I'm very lucky and thankful to have a room down here that I can just at least play in and get some work done. But once we get it properly built, you can see I've got curtains up over there in the entrance, but eventually, there'll be a door and that kind of thing, and this will actually be like a proper room with a little more space as well, so I can set up, the teaching kit as well and get into more of that. So, anyway, there it is. Hope you dig. And there's another look at the kit. All right, you guys. So there's my setup. There's my drums and my cymbals and all that stuff. Hope you dig it. Really appreciate all the support on the channel. It's still growing. I don't have a lot of followers or anything like that, But, you know, I'm really digging playing the tunes and the covers that I'm getting up there and ripping those for you guys. I've really enjoyed getting all of these covers up for Halloween, kind of getting in the spirit by playing all the spooky songs by wicked bands that I dig. So, anyway, I appreciate all the feedback, and, you know, make sure you subscribe and follow along, and I would really appreciate that. And I know it sounds cliche, but it really does help. And, you know, I'm using this YouTube channel to basically eventually kind of promote my, you know, my recording side of things and whatnot, to kind of use it as a bit of a calling card. So anyway, super appreciate it. And until the next time, take it easy.